Hi everyone, myself Vidya Kane. I'm studying in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. I am from Basic Science Department from the branch Artificial Intelligence. I am from Infinity section. Today I am doing my video assignment on Introduction to Python Programming. So my topic is write a function named divex which takes two parameters a and b and returns a value c. That is, it returns a value to the c, where c is equals to a divided by b. I write a suitable program, that is assertion for a is greater than 0 if function div x, and raise an exception for when b is equals to 0. Develop a suitable program which reads two values from the console and calls a function div x. So next, under that I'm gonna cover topics of introduction to the problem, function definition, input validation, exception handling, code walkthrough, example use cases. Code walkthrough, which means I'm going to explain the program. Example use cases. Example in the sense I'm going to explain each code by taking three examples. First, let us see introduction to the problem. First, we need a function div x, that is a comma b, to perform division of two numbers, that is a comma b. We have to ensure that a should be greater than 0, assertion to check positive numerator, and b should not be equal to 0, exception handling to prevent division by 0. Next, the goal is to ensure safe execution and prevent common error like division by 0. Next, let us see the function definition. Function named divx, that is division exception of a comma b, where a is the numerator which should be positive and b is the denominator which should not be 0. We have to return the results of a divided by b if the conditions are satisfied. We have to use assertion and exception to handle errors. Next is input validation. Assertion for a. We have to ensure that a should be greater than 0. This is to make sure the numerator is positive. If a is less than or equal to 0, the program will raise an assertion error. Next, exception handling for b, which is equals to 0. We have to raise an error if b is equals to 0. To prevent division by 0, we have to use value error to raise an appropriate exception when this condition is met. Next, let us see what is exception handling in this program. Assertion error, which is triggered if a is less than or equal to 0, the message will be a must be greater than 0. Value error is triggered if b is equals to 0, the message will be division by 0 is not allowed. So the program catches these exceptions and prints the error message, providing feedback to the users. Next is code walkthrough. Here we are seeing the program based on my topic. So first we have to define division exception of a comma b, that is def div x x of a comma b with semicolon. Next we have to assert that a is greater than 0. So assert a should be greater than 0, comma, using colons we have to type error with semicolon, a must be greater than 0. Next, rise exception if b is 0. If b is equals to 0, rise value error, that is error colon division by 0 is not allowed. Here Next, we have to return result of division. We have to return A by B. If name is equals to main, we have to try that A is equals to float. That is, we are giving A value and B value as int or float. If in case we give the value in float, we have to mention float. So here I have mentioned A is equals to float of input of enter the value of A. Bracket A should be greater than 0, colon, close the colons and put the brackets. Next is B is equals to float of input of enter the value of B with colons. So here, as you can see, the next thing is result. Result is equals to div exception of A comma B, that is division exception of A comma B. Print F, that is the result of A by B is result. We have to print the result. We are using flower brackets here. Next, we have to accept assertion error as AE. So, accept assertion error as AE. Print AE, that is assertion error. Next, let us see how to handle assertion error when A is not greater than 0. So, accept value error as VE. Print VE, that is value error. So, handle division by 0 error or invalid input. So, here at last we are handling the 0 error or invalid input. Next is, let us see example use of case 1. So, first example is valid input. For valid input, we have to enter the value of A, which is A should be greater than 0, colon, that is 10. Enter the value of B. Value of B is 2. The result of A by B is 5.0. That is, we have given the value of A and value of B. We are finding the result, that is A divided by B. So A is 10, B is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So it is indicated as 5.0, which is equals to 5. So the function successfully performs the division silence, which is A is greater than 0 and B is not equal to 0. So A is 0. A is greater than 0. That is, I have given 10. So 10 is greater than 0. So B is not equal to 0 because B is 2, which is not equal to 0. Here is the example used in case 1. So next, let us see example on case 2. So example used in case 2. So in case 2, we have invalid assertion error. So when we enter the value of A, that is A should be greater than 0 as minus 5, and assertion error is that A must be greater than 0. We have given A as minus 5, which is not greater than 0. Minus 5 is less than 0. So the function rises an assertion error because A is less or equal to 0. In this way, you can find an assertion error. So, example use case 3, that is, example used in case 3. That is, let us see an example when we give an input, that is, after executing the code, how division by 0 value error occurs. Enter the value of A, which is A should be greater than 0. I have given 10, and enter the value of B, I have given as 0. So A should be greater than 0, the condition satisfies, and 10 is greater than 0. Well, coming to B, the value of B is given as 0, where B should not be equal to 0. and the value given is equal to 0. So value error is that division by 0 is not allowed. So the function raises a value error because division by 0 is not allowed. Thank you everyone. Please do like. If any questions, please ask.